The OnePlus NORD series started off on a great note. The first NORD was very good. It was a very value for money smartphone, but then things started to go downhill. The OnePlus NORD 2, you know what happened with it. The OnePlus NORD 2T wasn't so great either, But now, this is here, the brand new OnePlus NORD 3, and this kind of shakes things up. So is this a good upgrade? Let's find out. Look, I'll be honest, there are doubts around the price and there is a lot of competition, which I will get to, but there is no doubt that the NORD 3 brings some big changes. First of all, is a change you might like or you won't. I'm talking about the design. This NORD looks very different compared to the previous NORDs. I mean, the first three NORDs had their differences in design, but they were still very similar in terms of the more rounded corners or the frame, but this is very different. This is bigger, as you can see in this comparison versus the NORD 2T. It has a more boxy sort of design with a plastic flat side, similar to the OnePlus 10R from last year, and it looks very different from the other NORDs. Let me know what you think of this design in the comments down below. Anyway, looks are obviously subjective, but I like the fact that this has a Gorilla Glass 5 back, and this has a glossy finish, but there's also a matte black variant, which I think would look better. The display is also way better, 10-bit AMOLED, 1.5K resolution, 1450 nits of peak brightness, and yeah, specs apart, this display is smooth, it's nice and sharp, and it's actually bright, so using it outdoors is no problem. This also has HDR10+ support, and HDR movies and shows actually look good on the screen. It also has a bunch of these display features, but what I found interesting is this new adaptive sleep option. So this feature uses the camera to detect if the user is looking at the screen to make sure that the phone does not go to sleep even when you're not using the screen. And this is handy, but I'm not sure if I want my phone to use the camera all the time, but it probably already does that, I don't know, because if you talk about something. This also has the alert slider, so it keeps the OnePlus essence there. I like that. It's also fairly sleek at 8.3mm, and this isn't too hefty at 193 grams. It also has dual stereo speakers, an optical fingerprint scanner that's fast, an IR blaster on the top along with an IR app that's pretty handy, and this whole design is IP54 rated. Now this is all fine, but what actually surprised me is that the haptics here are very good, very precise and very nice, feels very high end, so that's good. But let's get to the big changes now. The biggest change comes in the fact that this is powered by the powerful MediaTek Dimensity 9000 chipset, and it comes with LPDDR5 RAM and UFS 3.1 storage. Now this is actually a huge upgrade compared to the Dimensity 1300 on the 2T, and it makes sense. I mean, you get phones like the POCO F5 now under 30K, which brings the very powerful Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 chipset, and so with the Dimensity 9000, the OnePlus NORD 3 competes well. I mean, if you look at the benchmarks, you will notice that the Dimensity 9000 is actually pretty close to the 7 Plus Gen 2. Also, it does not beat Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1, but it's not too far away. So yeah, this is a pretty good upgrade, and I did notice that in the performance. App launches are fast, things feel very, very snappy, and gaming feels very flagshipy. I mean, games like Asphalt run super smooth, look awesome, no problems, but even with intensive games like say BGMI on the HDR Extreme setting runs very smooth. As you can see, the gameplay has no lag, and even after multiple matches, the phone does not heat up. I also tried some Genshin Impact on the phone, and at high graphics, there are a few stutters here and there, but it's mostly very good, and after 25-30 minutes of gameplay, this is the temperature of the phone. So yeah, fine. So yeah, the performance is consistent here, but I kinda expected that with the Dimensity 9000. Now, what actually surprised me is the camera here. See, the NORD 3 has the same main camera as the OnePlus 11 flagship. I'm talking about the 50-megapixel Sony IMX890 sensor with OIS, and this takes some really good photos. The first thing I noticed in the photos is that they have a very natural tone, which I like, while bringing in rich colors in things like flowers, trees, I also found the dynamic range very, very good. I mean, just look at the sky in this shot, and if I zoom in on the Welcome to Noida text, you can see it's very sharp. Here's another photo, and you can see how good the dynamic range is, how well balanced the exposure is. Even in low light, the photos are bright and sharp, and the point here is that the NORD 3 takes mostly good photos most of the time. The NORD 3 also does 4K 60fps videos, which is nice, and the video quality is very good too for a phone around 30K. There's good colors, details are there, and OIS also does its job. Now the main camera is the big highlight because the other cameras are kind of usual. The ultra-wide camera does not maintain the same rich colors as the main lens, but it's, okay. The front camera is actually down to 16 megapixel from 32 megapixel from the previous NORDs, and the selfies range from good to decent. I mean, just the skin tone, right? The colors are fine, but details and dynamic range are kind of average. Also, it's still stuck at 1080p. Cameras apart, the battery is actually 500 mAh bigger from the NORD 2T at 5000 mAh, and there's 80 watt Superbook charging that charges the phone to 100% in less than 40 minutes, so that's nice. Software-wise, this has OxygenOS 13.1 based on Android 13, and it's still a very clean experience. There are a few extra apps like this internet, the theme store, but other than that, it's bloatware free. This also has the infamous enhanced intelligence services turned on, but yeah, you can turn it off. And update-wise, this seems good. This will get 3 OS updates and 4 years of security patches, which is pretty good for this price range. When it comes to connectivity, this has all the 5G bands. This is NFC, Bluetooth 5.3, the latest standards. So like I said at the start, the OnePlus NORD 3 brings big changes, and I think this is a good upgrade. This packs in everything, but then there's the price debate. So this is expected to launch at rupees 32,999, and at this price range, there's actually a lot of competition. See, the POCO F5 at 29,999 has 2 advantages. 7 Plus Gen 2 matches and even betters Dimensity 9000 at times. It also has a base variant with 256GB storage compared to 128GB on the NORD 3. But the NORD 3 has a slightly better display and has better cameras. There's also the brand new iQOO Neo 7 Pro, which brings the more powerful 8 Plus Gen 1 at 34,999. Yeah, great pricing. But the NORD 3 has the better camera sensor on paper and it has a cleaner software experience. So even with all the competition, the NORD 3 looks very solid, but yeah, let's wait for the official price. See, I will pin the price of this phone in the comments down below, so make sure to let me know what you think of the new OnePlus NORD 3, and yeah, thanks for watching.